Good evening, everybody. Mark here at Discover Your Home. Tonight, it's time to get edgy. And what we're going to talk a little bit about is edge of your countertop on your islands. So let's talk a little bit about what we're seeing in the marketplace, what's out in the world of remodeling and kitchens. So we're going to talk a little bit about you're going to go ahead and do your island in your home. And what are some of the popular styles, popular edges that are being used? Some are good, some are a little more challenging, some are a little more expensive, some are very standard. So let's get into what we see, what we like, what we may not like, and hopefully help you in the decision-making process when it comes to selecting an edge for your home on the island. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about what they call the waterfall edge. There's a couple different companies will name it a little differently, but it's pretty much a standard squared edge when it comes to the island. So just imagine the whole flat surface. Just imagine a nice big sheet of quartz, and then on the edges all the way down to the floor, almost looking like the edge of a table. That's what we call the waterfall edge. It's very popular. You're seeing it now a lot of times in island installations. It's very simple. It's a very squared edge. This is actually a Cambria product. And Alexis, thank you for joining me tonight. Hopefully you're doing well there. It's pretty standard, squared edge. Like I said, this is their Cambria Sea Cliff edge. Just a very squared off. There again, it goes from the top down the side all the way down to the edge of the to where it meets the floor. So that's our waterfall edge. It's beautiful. There again, you're talking about doing quartz as kind of a you're almost kind of making like it looked like a very giant table. Lala baby, thank you for joining me tonight. I appreciate it. So moving on from that waterfall edge is a marine edge, and I don't really have a marine edge to show you, but just imagine a flat surface, and at the edges it rolls up and then down. So what it does is if you poured water on a flat surface, it would stay up to that certain level. Rice Krispie Jojo, I love that name, fantastic. Thank you again for joining me, I appreciate it. So getting back to the marine edge, it's there again, it's very flat. It rolls up and around, and you'll find that it holds, stuff can get kind of caught in the corners and stuff. But I haven't seen that as much, but it is probably more of a functional looking countertop. So that's out there. All right, so we're going to move on to some ornamental edges, and let's see what we can show you guys and gals. Let me start with this is a Cascade edge. Let me explain this to you. This is 3 2-centimeter pieces, okay? And what's going on here is your typical countertop thickness, island thickness, is 3 centimeters. But for them to make this work, what they do is they have to sandwich the pieces together and then run this edge all the way around. It's beautiful. It's stunning. Very, very pricey, but for your island. I'm not talking about your whole kitchen. This is just to give a real different look to your island. It's just got gives it a much classier feel. Makes it look stand out a little bit more. Hey Jen, how are you? Okay, so we're going to leave that. That's the Cascade. That is quartz. Okay. And we're going to go over to another. This is called Bryn. This is 2 pieces of 2-centimeter quartz sandwiched together. And then they run a edge tool here. And this also. There again, let's look at the difference in thickness. This is your standard 3 centimeter. Okay. Now this is your 6 centimeter. You've got three 2-inch centimeter pieces here sandwiched together, and 2 two 2 centimeter pieces sandwiched together here. So you can see the difference in thickness, okay? But gives a lot of style and a lot of character. Okay, let's get on over to the squared edge. This is kind of a unique Westmont, but I'm not in the market for this product. Okay, no problem. All right. Porcus Domini, I can't even say it. Whoever you are, thank you for joining us. This is a squared edge. This is a kind of a unique look because all the edges are mitered. And when this sits on your cabinets, it gives it a much more depth, I'll use a term, beefier look. It's really solid. It gives a lot more surface area, more feel to it. Okay. So there again, they miter it in the corners. It's, well, for lack of a better term, glued or epoxied in the corners, mitered. Very nice when it comes to islands. Really just gives a much different feel to your cabins. Hey, My Recipe, I appreciate you coming out tonight. All right. We're going to go to a very classic, something we see all the time. This is their summit edge. We call this a bullnose edge. It's got a slight radius on the top and a slight radius on the bottom. Very similar to, say, a bullnose on the face of a stair tread. Okay, very common what we see out there. And then our final edge tonight is the doubled eased edge. There is a single eased edge, which would be basically this piece in right here, and this is now a double eased edge. This is for your islands. This gives it a much more solid feel, and this is you want to make sure your island is supporting this because there's a lot of weight in this. It's a beautiful piece. There again, this is a double eased edge. This is probably the most common, most popular edge going forward today with a lot of my clients. So we see it out there. It's very traditional. Sometimes when you get a little bit more ornate with what you've got, it can be a little bit of it can date itself, and you can get tired of it. We find that with the eased edge, it cleans up easy. It's soft. It stands the test of time. Okay, so just want to kind of show you some of the countertop edges for your islands, and at some point in time, we're going to get into greater detail about what we talk about quartz and granite, but this is tonight what we're talking about is a quartz product. So I just want to thank you for joining me. I know this is a short segment, but we just want to give you kind of what's in the marketplace, what people are doing in their kitchens when they're remodeling their kitchens, and these are the types of countertops that they're using on their islands. So thank you again for joining me. Have yourselves a wonderful evening, and we will see you guys next week. Thanks again for joining me. I'm Mark at Discover Your Home. Good night.